Always try to get a little fancy on a Friday night. Little cab.
I have of my giant head bigger than my head
The
bottle.
head water. Is that water in
I'd say
there?
no, sir. I'd say it's like this many ice cubes, right?
Okay, that's fair.
From the obviously ice cubes take up space. From the little bump, a little bit, maybe a little bit more than the bump. It's
Yeah,
just bourbon.
Bur- that's
Yeah.
that's pretty.
And
I
then
feel like that's a
like
lot. That's a lot of
probably
bourbon.
up to the handle is just random soda. And what'll
Okay,
happen
so it's
is
diluted.
when
Okay.
I feel it in my hand getting a little bit lighter,
Mhm.
I'll either pour more soda or more bourbon in it.
Okay.
Um and
It's
then by
Friday,
the
so bourbon
time
should be fine. Yeah.
the ice is all melted because it's a very good container, very strong hydroflow. The ice stays cold. Like I've actually gone to sleep with ice in it, and like woke up the next day and ice was still in it in the morning. Like, and I like as I'm like washing it, I'm like, oh shit, I didn't wash this.
Yeah,
I'm
kind
like,
of
oh
like a
fuck, ice.
Yeti bottle, basically.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
it's pretty good.
Basically, all those named bottles suck. They're all the
That's
same.
fair.
There's no. The only bells and whistles I've ever seen is like how they close. Like this one, I could pull the metal straw out of and seal it.
That's pretty far though. You be able to pull it. I don't know why anyone would want to pull it out that far, but
No, I mean I could pull it completely out. like,
oh, I
like
see what you're saying.
it's also massive.
Okay.
And then I could seal the thing and pop the thing off and drink like coffee out of it or whatever.
Okay.
But I'm not drinking hot coffee. Fucking what? Who's
If
that
you put
for?
hot coffee in that cup, I mean that thing's gonna stay hot forever.
Yeah, forever.
So yeah. There's also
I just
that.
don't.
There's a
I don't
pros and
understand why people are
cons.
paying
You know.
$50 for some. Like, I have one of the Stanley ones. I forgot who got it for me. Someone's like, "Here's a Stanley Cup." And
I need to turn down my No, actually, I don't have anything on it. I'm seeing like things go through me on the screen. I'm like, is my white balance too high?
Mm-hmm.
Semantics.
I'll find out.
Nothing that you need to fix on your end. It's really on mine.
Porque no los dos. Might be both.
Oh, that looks worse. All right. We're just gonna leave it. You know what it could be too?
Actually, I like see-through Goofy a little bit. I like ephemeral ghost of Goofy.
That
I
might
like
be
Agatha's
slightly
mom
better.
Goofy.
Oh, Agatha's mom Goofy. Oh my god, you want to get right into the show because
Right in.
I have
No
words.
spit. No spit. Go in. No spit.
I have words. All right, so
We'll talk
here's
about
the
that
thing.
because I'm not excited to talk about Agatha. I'm excited to talk about Penguin.
Oh, Penguin was fun. Let's table that talk, please. So Agatha, we kind of talked about this a little bit before we got all right. Probably the worst episode that they've had so far this season. It wasn't awful, but something was off with this entire episode. Something was off. You know what I mean? And I haven't been able to fully pinpoint exactly what it was, but the word that I come up with is messy. It was messy. Like there were times where I was like, oh, that is really cool. And then there were these moments where I was like, whoa, like that's a bit much. Here's the thing, and maybe this might be subjective. The whole like her being possessed by her mom thing, I was like, what are we doing here? Like, what exactly was that? Is that part necessary? The whole her pretending to be Sharon thing, once again, it was kind of cringy. Like just a little cringy there. The fact that the broom thing was kind of whatever. The fact that the episode was so short, and I feel like that's the reason why it was messy. They didn't really. They started things and didn't finish it, and I feel like they kind of made this episode in a way where it's almost like a part 1 to a part 2. You know what I mean? Like they were basically like, oh, we're like X-Men 97, Life Death 1, and then Life Death 2 is going to come out sometime down the road. I feel like that's basically what they did with this episode. It felt like there were a lot of things that were kind of incomplete and intentional or not intentional. It felt like there were too many things going on too fast. The pacing was off. We talk about pacing a lot. The pacing was off for me. But you go ahead.
I don't disagree with anything you've said. I think I said to you, I don't know if I said to you or somebody else, but I know I said this to someone. Some human heard this.
Okay.
It felt like at some point, like when they were doing the script, they were like, we haven't talked a lot about other stuff. Like, we haven't really like progressed the overall story. We've just kind of been keeping things episodic in nature for the first, well, for episode 2, 3, and 4. We should probably try to like progress the main story. And someone's like, yeah, let's do that. How much should we put in this episode? And they're like, just like the first 30% of every story but we have, and then we'll fill it out over the next episodes. And I was like, I didn't not like the episode. I enjoyed the Salem 7 showing up. I was like, good. They're the bad guys. We should see them. So like, I kind of wish they were a little bit more in this episode. But fine. I'm cool with them not being, so we can continue the trial.
Okay.
Right? I like the costumes. I like the late 80s, early 90s, the Ouija board, like the tree house. I was like, okay. We're doing like Scream Queen shit. We're doing I'm all right. I'm in. Like,
kind of reminded me a little bit
it.
of Jumanji a little bit, but yeah.
I liked it. She did have a crazy ass cackle. I liked the broom scene. I liked the broom scene because they took just enough time to be like, this is fucking insulting. And then they did it anyway. And I was like, cool. I'm beginning to warm a little bit to fucking Wiccan, because I'm going to say it now, because he showed up with the fucking crown.
Yeah, I mean it has it's revealed now. Here it is, right? I mean, jeez.
I'm warming up to him a little bit as a character in the show.
Yeah.
I liked him in the first episode, and then that was the last time I liked him as a character.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, I like he's too knowledgeable to be that stupid. You know, like
but now we know he was playing a part, right? I mean, just based on what we saw in the last episode. Yeah, I think so. I think it's very clear that he had ulterior. That's the way I view it now. He had ulterior motives going into this whole thing. I have a feel. I mean, I feel like I know what he was going for, why he wanted to get on the witch's road in the first place. You know, I think it was all for the sake of. I think somehow he wants to try to resurrect his mom, right? I think that's the whole, because they're going with the whole story of Wanda being dead. So I feel like his whole purpose for being on the witch's road and trying to get, because the reason why I believe that he was breaking into Agatha's house in the first place, wasn't he looking for the Darkhold? Isn't that what he was trying to get his hands on?
No, I think he was looking to free Agatha. He was the one who cast the spell that.
Oh yeah, you're right. Agatha. You're right. Yeah, you're right.
He might be. I don't think we know. TLC, I don't think he was playing a part. He looked possessed. I bet that was part of the sigil protection spell, him throwing them into the mud. I don't know what to think of that.
The sigil is a I have like 4 or 5 different theories on the sigil, and none of them fully make sense to me. So
again, I didn't hate this episode.
Yeah.
I'm not like, ew. I didn't get the ick. I'm not like I'm off it.
Yeah.
I felt like what they were trying to tell me didn't. It was either it wasn't enough or it was too much. Kind of like, okay, so this was Agatha's trial.
Yeah.
And okay, cool. 30-minute timer's up there. Agatha knows there's a 30-minute timer. Does the Miss Hart fucking fake? She does a great job. Catherine Hahn, always a treasure. Love her to death.
I didn't like it, but that's just a me thing.
Oh, she nailed it. She nailed Deborah Jo Rupp. I was like, perfect. All I heard was Kitty from that 70s show when she was talking. I was like, perfect. Great job. But then, like, the fact that it was kind of a joke.
Yeah.
I was a little bit like off on it.
Sorry. Give me a second. I am home alone with the kids. Sounds like there's an emergency going on. I'll be right back.
I'll take care of it. The kids have set fire to fire. Goofy's home alone with the kids, and he just tripped. That's amazing. All right, I'll just finish my thought because Goofy knows basically what I'm going to say. I liked the scene. I liked the gimmick. I get that this was Agatha's trial, but they seem to have failed the trial. They also seem to have not done anything. Like, what was that trial for? Like, was her job to be punished? Was that her job? Was the witch ghost of her mother real? Because Agatha did not have magic up to that point. Was Agatha actually penitent? And then the second she got her hand on power, she lost it? Like, facing consequences for her past? Yeah, I agree. I just don't feel like I know what the consequences for her... Like, first of all, she didn't kill her coven. Like, I'm not defending Agatha. She's an absolute fucking monster of a person. Love her to death, but that doesn't change anything. She didn't kill her coven. Her coven set to kill her, and she responded in kind. I don't think she can control the sucking. I don't think so either. I think that is her power, is that magical ability. She absorbs magic. Because if she could... Fair. If she could... I don't think she would have continued, like, when she was facing off against Wanda. They haven't made that clear, and it's fine. But the way it ended, when she was like, but I didn't mean to, like, kind of trying to tell us, like, I can't control it. Once you blast me with magic, I take your magic. Like, that's my quirk, you know, that's my curse, that's my feature. I think that would have been fine. And then she had that, like, right back to Sinister Agatha moment. Did you watch the episode 6 trailer yet? I did not. No, I generally don't watch trailers to episodes of shows. I'll watch like pre-trailers, but I don't watch trailers to episodes of shows. One, because I'm already in, right? So like what's a trailer gonna do besides I generally, my general opinion on trailers is I avoid them until I can't. That's my general opinion. Because like 90% of the time they give me too much information. 10% of the time, they're made up bullshit. But 100% of the time, I almost always regret it afterwards. I do agree with Jay's general thing. And again, like if the information's coming in episode 6, great. I'm happy to hear that. But I feel like my biggest issue with the episode is I feel like 0 of my questions up to this point were answered, and I've gotten no new questions because I don't care about what they've posited. The only thing I care about is, I guess the only question I really have is Agatha's plan to just make sure everyone else dies? Like, is that her plan, to be the last survivor? Is that why she found the witches that she found? Was that her plan the whole time? Is that why she didn't want the teen to drink the wine? Right, in the first thing. It was her plan, I don't care who dies. I prefer if they all die. But the first time they used the Ouija board, I don't like Ouija boards. I'm not a particularly religious man. I'm not a fan of consultation with demons. Like that's been
my 2 biggest gripes of the last 2 episodes. Number 1, last episode, seen an actual demon. I was like, no. This episode, seeing Agatha being possessed, I was like, fast forward.
I don't. You want to know the scariest movie? Segue time. Let's fucking go. Welcome back, Hoopy.
Why not?
You want to know the scariest movie that I'm gonna say I've seen it. I'm old, so my youthful manly bravado has slowly slipped away. Like, I know how big my dick is. I don't really worry anymore. You know, like, I don't have to pretend anymore. I know what I got. Like, it's good enough or it's not. It doesn't matter to me. There was a movie that they're making a sequel to it, and I saw that, and then I watched this. The first time I watched this movie, I turned it off. The second time I watched this movie kind of like this. Like, watching, but also totally interested in what's going on anywhere else at like 10 a.m. And that movie is Smile.
That movie is creepy though.
Yeah, but not because it scared the room. I did not hit her. No. It was Smile. And it's not because I was scared. It was not because it was creepy. Like, there's very few things that could actually scare me, but there are things that unnerve me. And when I saw the viral like how they were marketing it, there was one baseball game where they paid someone to just stare down the fucking hard cam behind home plate and smile into the camera, and then they used that footage in the trailer for Smile. I was like, all right, I gotta see this fucking movie. It was the smile. Like, they found the casting call for this is like, hey, does your smile make people shit their pants? If so, come on down. Like, it is the scariest, creepiest, most unnerving smiles I've ever seen. It's not like, I don't know if I can enact a scary smile. I can do a goofy smile, you know, but just the smile they had. Everyone had a different smile, and it was creepy as all fuck.
Yeah.
But that's what, so I wanted to establish that to go into the fact that I generally am not scared of most things when I see it. But something about Ouija boards have always been to me, I'm like, I'm not one to believe in demons. I'm not. Or angels, or anything for that matter. Because they're all stories told by people. Right?
Yeah.
Like, it's all people's understanding. Like, dragons don't exist. But, like, it's totally possible that some lizard was able to breathe fire at some point. Like, you know, like, there's that common ground.
Yeah.
I don't inherently believe that Ouija boards contact demons because I don't believe that we understand what demons are. But at the same time, I do believe there's a lot of psychic energy in the world. And I believe that if you and a bunch of like-minded people knock on a fucking door and something answers, it doesn't matter what it's called. There's an old fucking story I used to tell it all the time. One person, you move to a town. I think I said this like the other week, right? One person moves to a town, right? One person moves into a town. You move into a town, right? First person you see, hey, welcome here. Don't go in the woods. There's werewolves. And you're like, that's fucking weird. There's definitely not werewolves, but like, all right, weird conversation. Next person you meet, you're like, oh, hey, welcome. I work at this place and there's werewolves in the woods. Don't go in there. You're like, strange. And then if every person in the town is like, don't go in the woods, there are werewolves, you know there's not werewolves, right? You know for a fact there's not werewolves. Doesn't mean the woods are safe, right? Like,
right.
But the woods are definitively not safe. Like, because I'm interested.
Something's there. May not be a werewolf, but something's there.
The old Eddie Murphy. Oh, hon, I really love this house. Get out. Too bad we gotta leave. You know, like, there's it's the old Eddie Murphy joke. Like, it doesn't matter if what someone says it is true. What matters is the thing that happened is true.
Mm-hmm.
And I've always said, like, faith occurs in spite of truth. Like belief occurs in spite of truth, not because of truth. You can't believe something if you know it.
Right.
They're two different things.
Right.
And that goes to everything. Like, the second you know something, it's not a belief anymore. You just know it's true.
It's fact.
Yeah. Well, at least it's fact to you. So Ouija boards just feel a little bit like, well, why would they sell it to kids? Like, I don't know, man. Because I don't know, and I don't know. I'm not. If I never fucked with it as a kid, it's just something about them felt awkward to me and off, and I'm like, I don't need to talk to dead people. I don't need to talk to people pretending to be dead people. I don't need this. I'm good. I'll leave. I'm good.
Yeah.
So I just fuck off. So like that kind of got me a little bit, but again, that's a personal thing. Like, I understand most people, sane people, are like, fucking Ouija board, dude. It's fucking ages 3 and up. Like, you know, like, he even makes the joke. Yeah. What's it say in the back there? Oh, ages 3 and up. I fucking died when he said that. I was like, great joke.
I'm trying to think of whatever else. I don't know what you guys already discussed. So
I just recapped the story.
Okay. Did you guys get into the sigil thing? Like,
no. We didn't get into anything. All I said, just in case, was like, I don't understand Agatha's motivation, and I don't understand what they're trying to tell me Agatha's motivation is. I have theories, but I don't know. And it's not the good kind of not knowing. It's not that, oh, they'll tell me soon. It's like it felt like this entire episode didn't tell me enough. And that's my problem with it. 5 out of 10, though. Like, worst, there always has to be a best and a worst of everything. So far, this has been the worst episode. Yeah,
not terrible, but definitely not their best. I am curious, though, about the whole sigil thing. I wonder now, I'm like, because there's a couple of theories that I have. Number one, the theory is obviously Wanda was the one that did it. That's the reason why, you know, what's his name? Whether or not it was intentional or unintentional. Right, because I know that like some of Wanda's powers are a bit unintentional.
Wanda's not dead.
I'm going based on what they said that she is dead. I'm going based on what they told me.
I don't believe Agatha thinks she's dead.
I refuse to believe knows what she did in multiverse.
There was an explosion of red light as the thing was crashing down in Doctor Strange. I had to rewatch Doctor Strange to confirm that. There was a massive red light explosion as the temple to Chthon was crashing down. I don't believe you have massive red light explosions because you're dying. Like, I don't, you know, like, I don't think that's your death throw is, red light. Like, I think that's you casting a spell. And I think we're gonna find out more.
I think we will find out some more. I think there definitely is they've been doing this a lot in the series. They have been misdirecting us a lot. They misdirected us with the Mephisto thing. They're, to be fair, they misdirected us with the whole teen thing until they finally revealed that it was actually Wiccan. They've been misdirecting us quite a bit here. I would just say that
Yeah.
I think that potentially she could have been the one that put the decision on, whether it be on purpose or by accident, based on how some of her powers manifest. Number one, the other part option, I'm like, did he do it himself? But I'm like, I don't think somebody can put a sigil on himself. I don't think that they would be able to. So
He could have. I don't see a reason why. I don't see a reason why he would have. And either he's the smartest 2.5 month old. No, how long has Agatha been there? About 2 years? I think they said 3 years, 3 years, something like that. He's the smartest 3-year-old that's ever existed.
I mean, they did age pretty fast. So what I'm thinking though is that
age also combines wisdom, man. If
the reason why I said that it potentially could have been him. What if he was just freely talking because he knew that she wouldn't be able to hear him anyways?
He wouldn't play it. Why would he play it that way? Like, why would he play that art?
He could have. He could play it.
What does he want? He's traveling the witch's road. He's not participating in any of the fucking trials. Mm. He said Nicholas Scratch. Right? He said Nicholas Scratch. Yeah. Like, oh, great. But he said it after the buzzer rang.
Right.
Fuck. Like, did they pass the trial? Like,
that's another question I have. I have no idea if they passed the trial or not. Did they?
Alice. Sweet Alice. Sweet, wonderful Alice. The only person of all
who was
of them.
Nice to teen. The only person that was nice to teen.
Lily is nice to teen, isn't she?
Oh, that's fair. But she's also gives him some tough love a little bit too.
Alice was the only sane one of those bitches. She was also the only one who had magic power. Everyone else was bound. I mean, I guess Lily did too, but she was like fucking botch. She was a little quick kissed. But Alice, knowing full well not to blast Agatha with magic. It was like they said it multiple times. Like, don't hit her with magic. And even she said, she's like, I can't. She told everybody, I can't take your magic unless you hit me with it.
So you hit me with it, yeah.
And the sanest fucking
Do we believe that her powers are involuntary? That her being able to take the powers involuntary? Do we believe that?
I liked Alice. Please save Jen. If Jen can't die, Jen dying turns this. I'm fine with them all being resurrected at the end. That won't feel bad because there are no fucking stakes. I don't give a shit about any of these people, right? Like, they can't kill Jen. If they kill Jen, I'm going to know they're going to resurrect them at the end.
Right.
You know, like,
yeah.
Also, I don't know, man. It was funny because going into episode 5, I was excited.
Yeah, there was a point about the ladder because TLC said that they did pass they contacted Agatha's son right as the timer ended. That's where the ladder came down. I forgot about the sun part, but the whole ladder coming down thing wouldn't have happened unless they did pass, right?
Is that true?
Yeah, the ladder would have had to have come down. There's always a way to escape out.
Well, the first 2 times, what was it? The first one was the place was flooding, but I don't know if the place was flooding because of the timer or because Agatha beat the shit out of the fucking glass. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know if that was why. And then the second one, they escaped through the piano. Yeah, they escaped through the piano. But I don't know that the timer was anything more than the demon killing them. Maybe there was fire. I don't fucking remember. Weird.
I'm going on the notion that if they pass the trial, then that's when they get to escape the area that they're at. So that's the reason why the ladder came down, was because they passed the trial. So that's the reason why Agatha was able to walk out.
But how did they pass the trial?
because they
Was the trial to punish Alice and was punishing Agatha, and was punishing Agatha saying Nicholas Scratch's name? You know what I mean? Like,
I get what you're saying.
The trial was vague.
But was the trial botched in the first place because her mother showed up? So like, was that really part of the trial, or did she like bombard the trial? It's very unclear to me personally. Yeah,
that's why I'm saying like
yeah.
this. I didn't enjoy this episode because I don't feel fulfilled having watched it. Like I don't like. Oh, everyone up to this one, I was like, oh, okay, the Jen had to do the thing and and the second one, oh, she had to beat her fucking demon, and whether I agree or disagree with how they passed the trial, like she beat the demon, and I'm like, oh, that makes sense. This one's like punish Agatha, kinda. How do we punish Agatha? And then immediately Jen was like, let's fuck her up. Like just takes out her retainer, puts it in a container, drops it to the side. She goes, let's go. Let's fuck her. Let's give her the old 5-knuckle shuffle. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. I don't know, man.
I don't know, man.
I will agree. The most confusing part about that episode was the simple fact that we don't know whether or not she passed the trial. We have no idea what the trial actually is. We assume that she passed the trial. I'm assuming too that
let's assume she passed the trial that didn't matter, because that's what I'm assuming right now. She passed the trial and nobody cared.
Aubrey stayed back to get the body, Alice's body. I'm assuming that's the reason why, if based on what the rumors are, or who Aubrey's character is.
See, here's the thing.
Episode in another 5 to 10 minutes. That's fair. I don't.
That episode needed another episode.
I don't know. Based on where they went with the episode, this 5 to 10 minutes would have saved this though.
Also, so if Agatha was possessed, right?
Mm-hmm.
This is now the third time that the teen has been attacked in a trial. The third time. The third fucking time that they're like, yo, get this guy off the fucking road.
Yeah, get him off this.
Yeah, get him out. Kill him.
He's not supposed to be
Fuck
here.
him.
Please. Yeah. He's not a part of the coven. Or unless he officially is now, because he's replacing Alice, but he's technically not a part of the coven.
Let me be clear. I don't know shit about the Witch's Road. And I'm gonna go even further and say I don't think I'm supposed to know shit about the Witch's Road. Me specifically.
Do you know the ballad?
You know the ballad? Not me, a viewer. Me, Tony, should not know anything about the Witch. I don't know. All I know is that this poor little gay kid who's not allowed to tell anybody his name, sounds some shady as hell, is constantly getting fucked up. and he's like, I gotta get to the end of the road, and they're like, why? And he's like, and they're like, we can't understand what you're fucking saying. And he's like, boobity 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 boo. And they're like, all right, fucking idiot. Like, oh, interesting. He has a sigil. Well, let's not pry into this shit at all. Sweep that under the fucking rug.
Oh man.
Also, this picture of him is fucking ridiculous, man. Like, just with the fucking headband.
Yeah.
The fucking Henley.
It was funny because somebody was just like, "Oh, I like how they portrayed him as kind of getting the crown or whatever." And I was like, "Bro, now just call it for what it is, man. This looks freaking what in the Stranger Things is going on right now with this man?"
yeah. I wish instead of sigil going over his mouth, it was just boobity 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 boobity. Boobity boobity boobity. Like just also. After last episode, they put Aubrey Plaza in a little too much clothes for me. But again, I don't know if I'm the intended audience of Aubrey Plaza.
That's fair.
Aubrey Plaza is a thirst trap in this. I just don't know for whomst she is thirst trapping.
I liked her when she was back in her regular clothes. I was like, oh, form fitting pants, nice, very good. And then we went into the whole thing, and I was like, what's it? By the way, somebody said, who was it? Was it Jay that said something about her laugh? That did make me laugh.
Yeah, she didn't laugh. She fucking cackled at one point, and I was like, also, and I can't be 100%, but I'm pretty sure because I think the first time Agatha, like they did it when Agatha was pretending, I think they're like, who are you? And it's spelt out death the first time.
Yeah.
And I think she gave Agatha a side eye when that happened. Or Agatha gave her a side eye when that happened. Somebody gave somebody a side eye.
There was a side eye for sure, bro.
Yeah, somebody gave somebody a side eye when they spelt out death. And I was like,
we just go once over that. Okay. Like, all right. That's what we want to do. Either way, I don't know. I guess I left this episode feeling a little empty. Just a little empty. You know, even with the reveal of Wiccan, here's the thing. I felt like that was a little bit premature, don't you think? Was that the Darkhold? Oh, okay.
Agatha All Along.
Get ready for fireworks.
Is this episode 6? Trailer?
Yeah, someone mentioned the trailer, and now I want to watch it.
She's a real mystery, Agatha Harkness.
They're just piecing together still like old episodes and okay.
Oh, it's Emergency Awesome. All right, cool. I'm not watching that.
All right. Oh, okay. That was just like a breakdown video then.
Agatha All Along fans are convinced episode 6. Sir, I'm an Agatha All Along fan, and I'm convinced I don't know shit about shit when it comes to the show. I don't know. You should see him in a crowd. Oh, don't get me wrong, man. When he came, that last scene kind of fucking hit. That last scene slapped a little. Also, he did just mind control 2 witches and threw them in. He was like, throw that bitch in the mud.
Yeah.
Which means he knows he can't touch Agatha. Because she'll suck out his ability. So he's like, bitches, come.
You touch him. Yeah.
Yeah. And then he's like, now you in the mud. But it didn't look. It looked like he snapped, right?
Yep. Yeah.
Like it looked like for a moment he was like, I'm off it.
Yeah, he looked like he was just like, I hate this bitch. That just went off. Like that's basically what he looked like he did. So
although,
he did that went off. But like I said, like I still stand by my statement. I think it was still too early to reveal him as Wiccan. I liked the play that they were doing. I thought it was nice to kind of long play it a little bit here. And the fact that they decided to just say, here is Wiccan. Now it's almost like they're kind of revealing things a little bit too fast for me a little bit. Right? The fact that they said that what happened?
Sorry. Remember a couple weeks ago I was talking about how gatekeeping is very important?
Yeah.
Because it keeps the looky-loos from ruining something that is of quality.
Okay.
Like, not gatekeeping, like nobody's allowed to do anything there, but like, not everything is for everybody. It's supposed to be for people. And then I read this quote that somebody asked, I assume on Reddit, because that's where everything happens. I'm trying to wrap my head around Billy being Wanda's son. Any idea of how they're going to explain it? This is a question asked not by not a Marvel fan, by someone whose primary day job is by licking windows and eating fucking paint chips. Like, any idea how they're going to explain it? Have you read any story in your life ever? Bitches are magic. They used magic. Like, what are we?
Yeah, bro. Yeah,
If this was
that was kind of
happening
easy.
in Captain America and you know Falcon and the Winter Soldier, I'd be like, yeah, how are they gonna fucking explain this? Like, but it's not. It's happening. Bitches flew on fucking brooms, and you're like, gee, I wonder how they're gonna explain how Billy's alive. You don't need.
Yeah. That's a simple answer, to be honest with you.
I don't think everyone should have the right to vote in America, but not because I don't agree or disagree with people's choices. I could care less who you vote for, but I need to know why, because the why is so important to me. If you're like, I vote for this candidate because it would improve the quality of my life, I support you completely, as long as what you say is true. Like, this person is voting. A person who can't wrap their head around how Billy is Wanda's son. They can't possibly envision that. This person has the right to vote.
You know how? TV. That's obviously magic is the answer. But TV. Jay said Chthon chaos magic. Oh, TLC said something that I thought was interesting. Telling you when she said remind me of your mother, it triggered a protection spell as part of the sigil, which is why he looked possessed when he used magic to throw them in the mud. I don't think that was a possessed look.
But
I don't believe that was a possessed look. I just think it was more of like a focus.
How did Agatha figure out that he's Wanda's kid?
Processing. Something in the eyes, right? The way it has to be something with the eyes, like the way that Wanda has this. Oh, I can't believe I did that look. Teen has this. Wiccan has the same look. I can't believe I did that. So I feel like that's there, and you might be like, "Nah, it's not that deep." I feel like
maybe it's that deep.
I think
magic.
That's the reason.
Jay hits me with my own fucking dagger. Magic, motherfucker, do you speak it? Like,
I'm going all deep. I'm like, nah, it's magic. It's not magic. It's the eye. It's the touching. No, but I think it's kind of that deep. I think they're being sort of subtle about it. That there's something about the look in Wanda's eyes whenever she's doing something. There's like an innocence about it, right? And I think it's the same thing with Billy Kaplan. I think it's the same thing with him. It's like there's sort of a, oh, I didn't mean to kind of thing. And I think that's the look that he had on his face. And I think that she could see that same look in him that she had. You know, I don't know. I'm reading too deep into it, but that's my thought. I'm thinking that.
Someone mentioned last week, and I did have to re-up on this, the origin of Billy Kaplan, who is Agatha's son, is that
I never remember the origin. I just remember Young Avengers.
Kaplan like got into died, like, or something, like the kid who is Billy Kaplan, him and his parents died.
Yeah, and then somehow
Billy's soul got sucked into Billy Kaplan.
Yeah.
And that's, I think, something like that. If anyone would please feel free to correct me, because honestly, I don't care. Like that is the most magic comic book wavery I've ever. Like, yeah, fuck it. Like,
it wasn't Speed like wasn't Speed like in like juvie or something like that, and then they have to like break him out of I'm trying to remember, or wasn't juvie. He was locked up somewhere, wasn't he? Like he was under some sort of like bound somewhere. I probably shouldn't have used bound because obviously we're talking. I don't know, but like he was somewhere and they had to get him out of that place. Listen, when did I read when the Young Avengers comics come out? 2005, bro. Like that was the last time I read that sort of origin story there. You saying so? TLC is saying that she already knew he was even dressed the same as little Billy from WandaVision. You know what's funny is that somebody pointed out how his hoodie, his little jacket, his little hoodie, has been changing colors throughout the season. So it started off as blue, but it's been slowly turning into red. Somebody had pointed that out somewhere.
That's cool. I didn't even catch that.
Yeah, I didn't catch it either.
What a great and well done story for less money than Echo.
Hey, what, $30 million budget?
$32 million.
I wonder what they definitely made their money back so far. They have to have made their money back so far.
Even if they don't, $32 million is not a lot to lose. You know what's a lot to lose?
Mm-hmm.
$300 million. Fuck the Acolyte. All right, I've said it. We're good. We can move on.
I honestly never cared about Wicked and Speed. So I cared about Wicked because of they always force him to be with Hulking. So, and I thought Hulking was cool.
Because Hulking is cool as shit.
Yeah, wait, exactly.
What are you, a Kree Skrull?
Yeah, exactly.
The Kree and the Skrull fucked and made you? What can you do? Everything?
Exactly.
You can do everything and on top of it, you fuck dudes? Oh, I love this guy.
Yo, that's the reason why
he can do anything he wants. He's not bisexual either. Like, he could be. He could easily be bisexual. No, strictly dickly. Like, I love Hulkling, man. I love
the only reason I care about is because of Hulkling. That's it. That's the only reason I care about Wicked.
Like I said, you know what I mean? My fear,
even with like Loki going to visit them, whatever. Either way,
my fear is that the shit ass garbage writers think of She-Hulk thought that Scar was Hulkling because they obviously didn't read any comic ever.
Stop.
And they're like, Hulkling.
They did not.
And then they introduced it as if like, because I swear to tits, if Billy starts dating Scar, I'm gonna be big mad because somewhere there's a Hulkling who's not fucking Billy. And if yes, he's on top. Of course he's on top.
Like, who Wicked is?
No.
You think Hulkling's on top?
No. Yes.
You think Hulkling's on top? Why? This conversation is gonna go down a weird road.
Remember earlier when I was like, there's a difference between believing and knowing? You have your belief as to what's happening. I know Hulkling's on top. Don't worry about how, all right? Don't you worry about how. You get to believe whatever you want to believe. I'll stick with what I know. I know.
Emperor Hulkling. Emperor Hulkling. Good for him. Good for freaking him. So yeah, I guess we've gone 50 minutes on Agatha now. Let's talk about, we should talk about something.
Hold on. I have to find out more about this writer. Lauren Vasili. She looks cute. She looks goth cute, and I'm into that. Andrew Garfield says Tobey Maguire is his favorite Spider-Man. Cool.
Well, F you, Tom Holland.
Andrew Garfield shits in Tom Holland's mouth. Jay.
Please don't.
Jay, I wasn't about to.
Honestly, I was here for the toxicity. I was interested.
I wasn't about to get that ratchet.
Oh my goodness.
This is a fucking children's show, for God's sake.
That's right. Exactly just that. Oh crap. Yo, Peacemaker's coming back. When is Peacemaker back? I know Creature Commandos is coming out in like December. But when is Peacemaker back?
Whoa.
I'm looking it up.
Whoa. HBO's new Green Lantern show casts I Don't Care as Jon Stewart.
Nah, no, listen. Did you see that? There's a movie on Netflix that he's in. I'm not gonna lie to you. That movie was kind of fire.
Rebel Ridge?
Yeah, that movie was kind of fire. I like it. I was a fan.
Peacemaker was great because it was stupid and fun. And the more stupid fun you get, the better it is. Penguin, which we'll talk about shortly, is great because it is funny and absolutely terrifying.
Listen, every single time I'm watching an episode of Penguin, I watched all 3 episodes this week. every single time I watch an episode of Penguin, I have to pause.
How much am I gonna stalk this writer real quick
before I know that it's okay for me to emotionally move on? Okay, that's it. That's all I'm saying. Listen, we don't have time for you to stalk her right now. Could you let's move on to Penguin. All right, so Penguin. Spoiler alert.
I have sufficiently stalked her. We may continue the story.
Okay. I fear for Vic's life. All right.
So we haven't talked about anything in Penguin because we have not. Up.
Yeah,
We'll end Agatha saying wasn't a strong episode. I look forward to the next one in spite of that. Because there are a lot of questions, and honestly, if they just forget this ever fucking happened and we just talk about other shit, I'm fine with it. We can call this episode 5 of Moon Knight, where I was like, this episode's stupid and doesn't matter. Let's move on.
That was episode 4 of Moon Knight, but okay, I understand what you're saying.
Was it 4? Which one was
4?
Yeah, all right. One of them was just completely
whenever they went to like the astral plane, I was like, okay, cool. All right.
I was like, this is a conversation that's taking 45 minutes. Why are we doing this?
Yeah.
I don't have HBO. Yeah, dude.
Same.
Jay, are we friends on Discord?
Yeah, do you need some help? I got you.
Yeah. Jay. Goofy, I'm giving you how many sites?
I plead the 5th.
Y'all ever need to watch something and your wallets are a little dusty, you just hit me up. I got you, fam. Like whatever. Yeah. You want to watch anime? Yeah. I got you. Yeah. I've been rewatching Soul Eater.
Yeah. Oh, I'm almost ready to get back into One Piece. I don't know.
No, listen, stop. Watch better anime.
I don't even know if I want to get on that train.
I told you, don't even bother watching One Piece. Just watch like 3 YouTubers talk about One Piece. It'll be way easier.
That's probably what I should do. Here's the thing. I'm reading too many comics right now. Oh, there's a Thor God of Thunder comic that came out. Wait, this is a part of the King in Black thing.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's really good. But yeah, go ahead. What are we doing? Let's move away from your stalkerism.
I'm stalking now.
Yeah, that's fine. Penguin. So, where do you want to start with Penguin?
Where do I want to start with Penguin?
Bleach just started season 3. Okay.
Also, Fairy Tail 1,000 Years Quest is going on, or 100-Year Quest, sorry, is going on now for anyone who likes Fairy Tail. But you can't watch 100-Year Quest until you watch all of Fairy Tail except the Idolus arc. So it's a rule. I don't make the rules. I just make them up. Penguin. So, like, do you want to do a brief synopsis of Penguin up to like this episode this week?
I'm looking at the screen, and that is definitely another.
You know what's funny? It's the 4th. You don't even see the first picture.
I know. I didn't even see it.
It's this picture.
Oh man.
This picture and this picture are from the Penguin, and then
block whatever is that
penguins.
down at the bottom there. Block whatever is that.
There. Whatever. Just random ass email. None of that matters.
Oh, that's fair. Just trying to make sure that you're not, whatever. You get the point.
See a bunch of random. 90% of those are probably from Uber Eats. Tony, stop being a fat shit. No, you can't stop me, Uber. Fine, then buy this. Okay.
Still waiting for anyone to watch Bleach so I can nerd out.
Not even my email.
You said, oh god, no. All right, Penguin. Damn it. So first, all right. Let me attack it since it's me just getting into it.
Yeah, you watched them.
I watched them all 3 more recently. I watched all 3 episodes, and I'm watching it purely as a fan. I'm not watching it as like someone that's looking to dissect the show or anything like that. Every single time I watch an episode, I am on the edge of my seat, scared. Like I feel like I'm about to crap myself because of just the mere danger that this man puts himself in every single episode, bro. The episode I think it was episode 2 where he stabbed the dude in the basement. And then they're like they're walking around and trying to find out who has a knife. I'm like, this dude's getting caught. 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 And listen, my sphincter was tight because I'm just sitting there like, this dude's about to get caught. And then he does it. And then even in episode 3, I'm like, is Sophia going to kill his ass? Because like she would. It's like 100%.
I don't think the Penguin series ends with a dead penguin, but I do think every episode's gonna end with an almost dead penguin.
Yeah.
Like, and a nearly dead Vic.
A nearly dead Vic. At some point, I'm like, this dude gotta take an L, right? Like he's going.
No, he's never gonna take an L.
He probably
never. He's never gonna take an L, and they're like the entire time. Like he's the protagonist, and he is. Remember, I told you I fucking love this Gotham. I love this Batman universe. I love everything about it because there are no heroes. There's one hero, and he blew up a fucking city, like half the city.
And I was gonna say it was nice to see them kind of do like a little bit of maybe because once again I'm just getting into it, so. Is seeing them sort of show the impact of what happened in the Batman movie, sort of showing that in the Penguin show. I was like, that's nice. It's a good way to be able to sort of like connect things. I will say, and this is me just being not a DC guy. So, I'm way more into Marvel. I'm just getting into DC. By the way, I read a Green Lantern comic today that was messy. Let's use that word. But
Green Lantern's hit or miss every time. It's either the best comic series you've ever run, like the best runs historically, the best DC runs have always been Lantern related historically. Yeah. And also the worst standalone comics have also always been Lantern related.
This one was like a Green Lantern Civil Core special, and I honestly cannot really recant to you what the story was about. I could,
Space Cops,
but for dramatic effect, I'm going to say that I can't. But here's the thing: what I was saying is that what I was going to say is that it's nice to see them relate things back to what the movie is like, but at the same time, it is incredibly different, right? Because the world of DC is different than Marvel. Like Marvel is like, this is New York, this is California, this is whatever. So with DC, it's always different. But one of the things I was a little bit confused about was when she said that she was going to California, like his girlfriend.
Yeah.
There's a California in DC? I thought that they
in DC,
yeah.
in DC world, right?
Mm-hmm.
In their canon, everything is the same except there are additional cities like Metropolis
Gotham
is not New York City.
Okay.
Metropolis is not located. Metropolis, I believe, is south of I think it's like right off of North Carolina or Delaware or something. I'm not 100% sure.
Okay.
It's not New York City. Gotham is also not New York City. Gotham is located roughly off the coast of Trenton, New Jersey.
Okay.
Gotham is in New Jersey. And
so we can basically say that they're both essentially avatars. Metropolis and Gotham are basically avatars of New York in a sense, right?
Central City is located, I believe, in Illinois. Someone might want to correct me on this one. Star City is located
like Minneapolis. Okay, yeah.
Michigan, yes, Michigan, Wisconsin, somewhere around there.
Okay.
And I forgot what the West Coast city of note was.
Okay. and it's a super nerd crap. So obviously, we can
Well,
move
I
on to this,
mean,
but I was a little
no,
confused.
no, we're gonna be on this for the
it's
next hour. Fuck everybody else. Central
yeah.
City of St. Louis, is it? Okay, that's fine. It's hard to keep track of the general whereabouts because they only made that distinction in the last 2 decades or so.
Okay.
Coast City is LA. Thank you. Yeah.
Coast
I knew it
cities,
was,
LA, Central cities,
yeah.
and state. Okay. In Louis.
And they're all located generally around there, but LA also exists.
Okay.
Metropolis is supposed to be New York City, but it's not where New York City is because New York City exists in
Okay.
that, and more importantly, Metropolis and Gotham are considered sister cities. You could see one from the bay. You could see, so yeah, they're close enough that you can see them. But I believe DC just has made up cities that are like stand-ins for New York and stuff, and Marvel has made up countries. So does DC. But like, where's Latveria? Fucking whatever. Shut up.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
It's like a mile and a half squared. It's a castle and a bunch of fucking farmers, and they all have better tech than we do.
When Jay said Wakanda and Madripoor, I was like, yeah, it's fair. That's a fair point.
Yeah. Yeah. Jay nailed it. Like, but both of them have planets. Both of them have Mars.
Yeah.
Martian Manhunters from Mars. And that's where all the fucking X-Men were. That's where the X-Men Red were. And the Iraqans, I think, was the other
Iraqans, yeah.
race.
The Iraqans, was that the was the race pre-Krakoa? That was
no,
right?
that was
like
the race of people who were indigenous to Mars because they moved there first. That the mutants that showed up on Mars are like, hey, we live here now too, and they're like, we don't know about that, and they're like, woo, and they're like, you live here too. Like, Storm is like, space magic, and they're like, oh, okay, cool. Hey, what's that? Is that a hailstorm? Yeah, in space? Yeah, we're good. You do whatever you want, Storm. We fucking love you.
Storm. Hey,
Storm farted and terraformed Mars. Like, Jesus Christ.
She's running for mayor right now, or is it governor? I've something going on. Listen, X-Men comics right now are the wildest ish in Marvel Comics. The wildest ish going on right now in Marvel Comics. What the hell? There's like tangent. There's like 8 different X-Men comics right now. I'm like, what the hell is going on?
All unreadable. They fumbled the best story. Hickman had a phenomenal fucking story. We were so in for 3 years. Dude, they had garbage X-Men comics that were readable. Like, you're like, what? They're going back in time to King Arthur time? Fuck, let's read that. But it didn't matter. They set up this fucking storyline, and Fall of X just shit the bed so goddamn hard.
That was a weird way to end the story. The whole Professor X thing was just uber weird to me. Whatever.
Okay. Again, you have to remember, if a story ever has Professor X as a good guy,
that's fair.
It's wrong, and it will rectify itself quickly.
But no, they ended it as he was ended as a bad guy. I mean, essentially, that's what
I'm saying.
Yeah.
It had to be that. He is a bad guy. He always has been a bad guy. He just has been a bad guy that happened to have his ideas aligned with the greater good for a very long time, except for the fact that he was super creeping on a 17-year-old girl forever.
The DC reboots too much, and Marvel needs to hard reboot ones. The issue right now with Marvel is that they've gone so far with some of these storylines where you're right, Jay. It's like they got to reel it in just a little bit. Like right now, this Venom War thing, it's fun. Don't get me wrong. It's a fun, exciting story. At the same time, I'm like, so what are you going to do after this? Like what? Like you're going so hard and doing so much in this one where I'm like, what do you? The same thing with Blood Hunt. I feel the same way about Blood Hunt. I was like, okay, what are you gonna do with the Blade storyline after this? Because
I'm gonna say something that's unpopular.
As usual. What is new?
You ain't far enough away to say that. You ain't far enough away to start spitting like that. Most comic runs suck until the end. Whether
but even
it be,
the end can suck sometime though.
Well,
you know
no. I'm not saying that. I'm saying the issue with comic books is that they exist in a format that should have died 30 years ago, which is monthly episodic bits of a story.
Yeah.
That format no longer exists. Comic books have not been profitable for a long time and will continue to not be profitable.
Yeah.
Like the comic books at this point are loss leaders. They exist to sell new toys and random shit and stuff. It's just what they are.
Yeah, that's the
If
toyetic
you were reading
market. Yeah.
If you were reading House of M when it was current, House of M was the most boring fucking story you have ever fucking read. And I know this because I was reading House of M in 2009? 2011? I don't even fucking remember.
I never read it. I just watched comic book creators rest in peace, to Ben. Watching comic book creators
until the end of
it.
House of M, when the entire and even then House of M actually kind of fucking sucked.
Yeah.
Until Avengers Disassembled.
I was gonna say they didn't make it pay off until later on, right?
Every character in Marvel's power creeping to the point where everyone can do everything. It's like everyone is Franklin Richards, and we know how I feel about that. Fair. The issue
we know,
is,
Jay, you don't like Franklin Richards. It's all right. And Dylan Brock, or whatever.
The issue is they have to make the individual comics stand out. One of the things they used to do, especially when they were doing the new, was it the New 50? No, it was All New, All Different Marvel. That was the worst thing they've ever done in Marvel, just so we're all clear.
Some of those stories were fun, though.
No, some of those stories led to good stories. None of those stories were good. All New, All Different Marvel gave us some great characters and some shitty fucking stories. But the one thing they did when they did All New, All Different Marvel was they were like, how do we prove that this character is good? They're like, have him beat Doctor Doom. So there's just a run. In the past, the number of people that beat Doctor Doom was like the Fantastic Four, all of the Avengers, right?
Yeah.
That was it. That was it. And then for some reason, Squirrel Girl, she beat Doctor Doom once.
I mean, Squirrel Girl at this point has beat everybody. She's beat Kang.
I'm fairly confident she would tickle Galactus to death. And then they're like, let's have Kamala Khan beat Doctor Doom. Let's have Spider Miles beat Doctor Doom. And Doctor Doom is just sitting there like, everyone?
Yeah.
That's how you show. It's like if you watch Warhammer.
And then they flipped it and said, oh, okay, well, in every story now, let's go to Doctor Doom for help. So then they flipped the story. Oh my gosh.
Like, if you're familiar with anything about Warhammer, the 40K universe, like if they ever want to show that a character of any form is awesome, they don't bother telling you a story of why they're awesome. They put him up against a Swarm Lord. Yeah. And they go, beat the Swarm Lord. Because they establish Swarm Lords as basically like specifically designed to be the like biological robots, basically, specifically designed to win a very like a battle.
Yeah.
Like, oh, we're fighting underwater against sharks. This swarm lord is going to be able to breathe underwater, swim fast, and its blood is going to be toxic to sharks. And then they just have some guy beat the shit. Like, oh, what are you fighting? A guy with a chainsaw? And the guy's gonna be like, yeah, but I have hyper chainsaw power, and then beat him up. And that's how they show. Like, they show people are strong by having them beat up somebody everyone knows is strong.
And then they go back. That goes back to what Jay was saying about the power creep thing. It's like in order for you to be able to beat X character, you have to overpower a character, which is the reason why. And I'm probably unpopular opinion again, why I don't like how strong they've made Carnage in the Marvel universe right now. I'm like, you keep on making Carnage incredible stronger so that you can
fail to understand why Carnage is scary.
Yeah.
Like,
Carnage is scary because of his mental crazy ass. Well, I'm basically dumbing it down, right? Like, his crazy mentality. That's pretty much basically what makes him as powerful and as strong as he is. But instead, they were like, hey, let's have him go through all these different sort of trials, per se. I'm saying trials. It's not really prior trials. It's really quests that he went on. Let's have him get to his ultimate form where he no longer has any sort of weakness that any other symbiote would have. And then now he's in a team up with Meridius. And like, why are we doing this? He's gonna go to the forge and defeat whatever the guy the librarian that was there. Like, what is the point of this? You know, we get to that point where it becomes comical. It gets to be comical, and I kind of sort of miss the idea of characters coming up with really good strategies to defeat big bads, as opposed to, I'm just going to get super powered now to defeat big bad.
It's lazy writing. It's poor writing. It's and again, I'm not blaming them because fucking I know Marvel doesn't put money into this.
Yeah.
Right? But like, they don't care. It's kind of like, we got to keep paying for the comics or we can't be Marvel Comics anymore. Yeah. You know, like, we got to keep it going. But at the same time, like, everything about comics sucks until, if you want to know how many actual comic books I own, I mean, I own hundreds of comics. But like, you want to know like comic books that I care for? Not many. But if you want to know how many fucking like,
they're all in the probably 2000s and pre 2000s, basically, right?
Well, for actual comic books, unless there's a cover I like or something, I'll pick that up because I support my local comic book store because I fucking love them.
Yeah.
And I never want them to go out of business. And if they were like, yeah, we're gonna have to close our doors, I'm like, no, you don't. We're figuring this out right now. What are you doing this afternoon? You know, like, we're gonna keep your doors fucking open. I'll take over. I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
There will always be a comic book store close to me. In my life, I've moved near comic book stores. When I moved to Queens, I was a block and a half away from a comic book store. When I was in Midtown, I was right next to Midtown Comics. Like, I have to be near a comic book store.
There's something different about having the physical copy in your hand. It's just different. You know what I mean? And yeah, there's nothing like it.
It's the random tchotchkes and toys and like, it is what it is. But also, I have way more trade paperbacks than I do comics. And I know I said I have hundreds of comics, but I don't have complete stories. I have a couple complete runs. I have the original 90s Maximum Carnage run, collector stuff. But if I if I'm ever like, I want to read this, I buy a trade paperback. It's like usually between $15 and $25.
Yeah.
It's 8 to 10 fucking comics in one book. And it's the whole fucking story.
Yeah.
And so I don't have to be like so if issue 1, if issue 3 wasn't great It's only fucking 13 pages. But it's part of the story, and I didn't have to wait another fucking month. They don't get that. Like, stop releasing monthly comics and just release, like, if you want to do a monthly comic run, that's fine. Release 3 comics. Don't do, like, right now, I don't even know, because they're on ASM, they're on the 5th reboot of ASM. I think they're on 922 total issues under the ASM fucking imprint.
Yeah.
Shazam. Power of Hope. Alex Ross? Okay. You had me at Alex Ross. Could have just said it's an Alex Ross link. Shazam Power of Hope. Absolutely. I'd love to. I can't wait to read that now. I'm not saying everything needs to be a one-shot. I don't think that's fair. But if you're telling me I have to read a comic, like a comic every week for the next 6 months to get the majority of the story, every comic has to end the way a House episode, not a House episode, that's a horrible example, the way an episode of like a drama ends, where oh, I need to read the next issue. Like, you have to do that, and they've never done it. They're just like,
they don't, and that's my frustration, bro. Like, I'm reading some of these comics right now, and I'm like, and yes, Jay said this a little bit earlier, that some of the best thing coming out of Marvel right now is the Ultimate, Universe comics. But there have been some Ultimate, like for instance, Ultimate Spider-Man. There have been some issues where I'm like, oh my God, I like the story, but at the same time, my goodness, can there be a little bit more action? And I know that I am now going to have to wait 4 weeks before I get the next comic to come out. And you, as yes, sure, there are gonna be diehards fans that are gonna be like, I'm gonna wait the 4 weeks. I'm pissed, but I'm gonna wait the 4 weeks. But then what about you? It eliminates your opportunity to be able to convert someone that is not a super diehard, right? It eliminates that opportunity for that person to be able to be like, all right, cool. You know what? I'm anticipating this coming out now. Out of sight, out of mind. If you're gonna take 4 weeks, you're gonna be like, that next comic is coming out in 4 weeks. I guess I'll catch up on it then.
This is a variant cover to Exceptional 2.
Yeah. Someone with Kitty Pryde, right?
Yeah. I don't know if Exceptional is a good run or not, but I'm not paying $10 to find out in 2 episodes.
Okay.
In 2 issues, But okay. I'm saying, like, $3.99 and $3.99. Like, again, the prices of comics, no problem. I have no issue with them.
Yeah.
If they release bigger comics and charge more money for them, I'm totally fine with that.
Yeah.
But this is a 32-page comic. Are there 32 actual pages of the comic, or is the book 32 pages? And
the book is 32 pages. It's really basically like 26 pages, 28 pages, or whatever actual.
And then there's the post, the after, the pre on the line, the and the ads, right? And again, no complaints. Like, I get it. It's fine. You're giving me 26 pages of story, and you're not giving me 26 pages of story.
No.
You give me 26 beautiful illustrations.
I read the comics. So I'll tell you right now, it was a cool story. Don't get me wrong. The story is fine. Like Exceptional Spider-Man 1, Exceptional Spider-Man 2, the story is fine. Like, it's not a bad story. What I'm saying is, why am I waiting a month to get issue number 2 when that's all you're doing in issue number 2? That's all I'm saying. That's all.
DC flopped on the New 52 because the head of the decision making was a crackhead who should never have been in charge of what they were doing with the New 52. Exceptional X-Men 1 second print and Exceptional X-Men 2 fine. Phoenix number 4. How long does anyone think a Phoenix run's gonna go? That you like 8?
That gotta be the last. That gotta be. It might be 5. Check it. I mean, I would say it gotta be 5. It couldn't be more than 8. What story are you telling in 8 issues? Based on the end, this is coming after the end of Krakoa. So once again, I'm prefacing it by saying that
Where does
it's
the next
it's coming off the.
5, 6?
Is that
So
is
right
that
now
Gore?
it seems
Is that Gore?
Dark God Parekis, it says, which is
Oh, I'm sorry. I was
something.
looking at issue number 4. My bad. I think that one had Gore on it.
That is Gore the God Butcher. Yep. And then this is Thanos. I'm gonna be as blunt as I can. There is absolutely no fucking way this comic is paying for itself, which is fine. Not every comic has to pay for itself. You get really good.
Look at when it's being released. The 17th of July. Then it's coming. The next issue is coming out in August 21st. Then you're getting September 25th. Then you're getting October 9th. Then you're getting November 20th. You're going from the 9th to the 20th. Then you're going from the 20th to the 11th, which is not bad. All I see is if issue number one could start off as a banger, right? But then if issue number 2 is just like, okay, I'm already checked out on issue number 3. I don't even know when that's coming out now because I'm like, oh, issue number 2 didn't really capture me.
So if it's only 6 issues, I don't know, but like
sometimes they add more, so that could be
the way they do comics is a person pitches a run, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they sell it on X issues, right? Whatever that is. Sometimes and this is the old ways of bad, if a comic is doing very well, they go, let's keep it going. The problem is, you can't, if I pitch a 6-issue comic, I need to know by issue 3, before issue 3, if I need to write more or another story. Right? Like, and if I don't know that by then, whatever I get after that is going to be, oh, we're picking this up for another 15 issues. So, like, what, as a writer, I have to write a fucking 18-issue story? But it ends at 6, 12, and 18 just to make, like, what are we doing here?
Yeah.
You know, it's all about imprints, right? So, like, ASM is an imprint. ASM, there will always be an Amazing Spider-Man. There will always be an Uncanny X-Men. There will always be an Invincible Iron Man. And by always, I mean there might be a period of like a couple of months where they've retired that before they start a new, and they're doing a couple of other things. But that is an imprint that they always get someone. Usually, you work up to that as a runner. And you end up with like Zeb and really good writers doing that. And it goes with everything, right? The problem is the people you have to impress to get the comic are not the people that you have to impress to keep the comic. The people you have to impress are people who are like sitting in a room, they've done this forever, and they understand what sells and what doesn't. Except they don't. They understand what sold and what didn't. They don't understand what's selling now and what doesn't, which is why we get TV shows that suck. And like every time we see a TV show now that like everyone's like, oh, we're kind of off that topic right now. The reason why we're getting it is because when the guy came up with the idea, it was 3 years ago, 4 years ago, and it took this long to get to it. Comics are a little bit faster, obviously, because they're just fucking like stories in ink. Not much faster, mind you, but a little bit faster. And it's still like insane. Let's see what next week looks like. Uncanny 4, Ultimate Spider-Man 10, Miles Morales, Wolverine 2, Spectacular 8, Moon Knight Fist of Khonshu 1.
Well, that potentially could be a good story because this is coming off. If I'm not mistaken, this is following right after Vengeance of Moon Knight and whatever happened in Blood Hunt, because he came back. So Khonshu was freed in Blood Hunt, and he was in an Asgardian prison. So this is following up after that. So this could be a fun issue. I don't know.
And I will read it for free. And if I like it, I might buy it. And
That's
there's nothing
fair.
anyone can do about that.
That's fair.
Like, that's the problem. Like, and I always, whenever I talk about things like piracy in any of its forms, there's always someone, and I'm not trying to throw shade, but there's always someone that's like, that has the idea, one, that it's theft. It's not. It's not. It's not even a form of theft. It's piracy. That's why it has a different word. If it was the same thing, there wouldn't be a word for it. Similes aren't big and huge, don't mean the same thing. They mean similar things. And the other is the idea that there's always someone that's like, why do people think they have the right to something for free? Well, it's not about any right or anything. It's about accessibility. I pay for Spotify because it is cheaper and easier for me to pay for a Spotify subscription than it is for me to illegally download every song I want and host it on a fucking flash drive. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, and there's a point when that stops being true. If Spotify was ever $25 a month for me, I'd be like, I think I'm going to download music again. Like, it's like you can't stop it. It'll never be stopped. It always will exist. The idea is that the people who want to support it and see more of it have the opportunity to do so.
Yeah. Okay.
If I'm not reading a comic online, right? If I'm forced to only buy comics and read them, I'm going to read even less comic books. Even less comic books, because now there's a financial cost and eventually I'm going to be like, I'm tired of kind of like video games. You know, I'm kind of tired of spending this much money a month on comics that I don't enjoy. And if I don't enjoy a comic, I can't return it. I'm not, like if I read a comic and I enjoy it, I get up, I go to my store, I buy the comic.
Right.
If there's a run that I'm particularly happy with, I say, hey, put it on my pull list. And then they'll send me a message like, hey, it's coming out, or you missed it, you didn't come by on Wednesday. I'm like, oh, okay, I'll be right there. Actually, it happens all the time. They're always texting me like, Tony, we got like 15 comics for you. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. Here's $100.
Yeah.
Like, sure, here. And I'll buy some other stuff. Sorry being an asshole. But that's because, they order an extra or make sure that they have enough. So I get that. Mystique. I love Mystique as a character. Am I going to buy a $5 issue of Mystique #1? Maybe. But not if I don't know what it's about or have any reason to care.
I would say personally, you would probably want to know what it's about first.
Would I buy a 40-page
why would you
issue
individually
for $4.99?
Yeah, like
no.
like you would need to know individually, like, what is this issue about? Like, is this even a good series? Here's the thing: Mystique could start off great, but so many people are also like, well, let's see what issue #2 is like first, and then I'll make a decision as to whether or not I want to buy these issues. Because right now, look at that cast list: Blob, Avalanche, Destiny. Okay,
Mystique's wife.
That's interesting. Okay, cool. Oh, is that Mystique's wife?
Yeah. Mystique and Destiny are married.
I haven't been paying attention to that. Blob, whatever. Okay, Blob isn't Blob currently in Grey Malkin prison? All right, whatever. Let's move on.
Who cares?
Whatever. All right.
Why are we trying to keep track?
Yeah.
The whole point is
That's what I'm saying.
I am way
never
more
mind.
likely. I am way more likely to spend $15 to $20 on a trade paperback, which is generally not a hardcover. It's a soft cover.
Mhm.
That is this entire story in one shot. So I have a whole story. Than I am to pay $4.99 and be like, oh, I kind of like it, or I kind of don't, or let's see what happens. Right. And it's an unfortunate circumstance of comics that's always existed. And the truth is, kids don't read comics anymore.
Nah, no. And I wonder why though. Like, is there a reason why kids don't read comics anymore? Because
kids suck.
I wasn't able to read them.
YouTube exists. That's why.
Well, that's true. People like me, right, who cover comics.
No,
like, why would I read that if I could just listen to somebody else talk about it?
Why would I read a book? Why would I pay $4.99 and get a picture book as a child who has no money?
Mm-hmm.
I'm very small and I have no money.
Yeah.
Why would I do that as a child?
Nah. Thank you, Emma. Thank you. Appreciate it. How did you? Oh, man, word travels fast. Jeez.
If I could watch a YouTube video that tells me everything. And the YouTube video, honestly, I don't think kids can read anymore. I'm not entirely convinced children are taught how to read.
They can't do math. They just use calculator.
Teachers are quitting. Teachers are quitting.
Crap.
Parents are somehow worse than they've ever been. I'm not a parent, and you are
guilty as charged.
Yeah. All I know is that, like, when I was a kid, if I got in trouble, my mom or my grandfather, one of the two people that showed up and they were like, what did he do? What did that piece of shit son of a bitch do? It was so long into my life. I was like 8th, maybe 7th grade before the first time that any of my family realized I didn't do everything like that I got accused of. And they figured it out too. They're like, oh,
I did half of the things, but I didn't do all of it.
Maybe Anthony wasn't joking around. Maybe his Catholic fucking school nun is an absolute fucking cunt. She was. She absolutely was. And it was funny too, because it was like me and like my group of friends were always in trouble, and our parents were friends because that's how kids worked, right? Because so you're friends with the friends of your kids. So they were talking, and they're like, yeah. Joe got detention. Yeah, Jimmy got detention. Yeah, Matt got detention. Yeah, so did Anthony. These kids are bad. And then eventually they're like, but they're not that bad. Like, there's no way they're that bad. But it was the opposite. It was like if my teacher said, Anthony's doing well in class, but he can't shut the fuck up, I'd get home. I'd get home, and my grandfather would be like, "So hey, you're getting straight A's." I'm like, "Yep." He's like, "Cool. When are you gonna learn to shut the fuck up?"
Oh man, but that was a teacher. Parents yell at teachers when kids didn't do the work and failed. Oh,
and it might be different because I went to private school my whole life.
I'm from the islands. Trust me, I was getting blamed.
I'm a different circumstance. Like I'm a different. Like, my family, my mom was first generation here. You know what I mean? So like, and I basically, my mom was working a lot, so I lived with my grandparents for the most part. Like, they kind of raised me. So like, he's being a bastard. It's fucking. We're gonna punish him. So I got punished a lot. Sometimes I deserved it. Sometimes I didn't. But every time I got it. And like, I went to private school my whole life. It's not a brag. I don't actually care. It's just like, that's a different experience than a lot of people have.
Yeah.
So like, I remember when I went to high school, I went to an all boys Catholic high school. And I remember a teacher said something. Sorry, the vice principal said something in a meeting where he's like, just so you know, this isn't a public school. I imagine the cost of going was there. He just the students, by the way, not the students. He's like, so your parents can't protect you here. Like, he's like, there is no. He's like, there are no PTA meetings. If your parents don't like something, they will just remove you from the school and you'll go somewhere else because we're not changing.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, and the only reason I'm bringing this up is because I've gotten a lot of calls from parents that didn't know that. So I told them that. God, if you don't like how we handle anything, you may leave. Stop paying us money to teach your kids.
No, listen, yeah, my parents were a little bit different. Like I said, I'm from the islands.
Right.
So whenever I screwed up in school, and I'm responding mostly to Jay's comment because Jay was just like, his dad is a teacher and parents yell at teachers. No. My parents would come to me and be like, so what the F you doing? What are you doing? Because regardless of whether or not they were the best teachers or not, they knew based on, because when I came from Jamaica, right? When I came to the school system, I was way advanced in comparison to what was already being taught here. And it was funny enough, they kind of wanted to keep me back a year, and I was just like, that makes zero sense. I'm doing more than whatever the hell you guys are doing here right now in this current grade. You know what I mean? So like, you holding me back is literally just going to be, it's not going to benefit me. It's just going to actually regress me in a lot of ways. So my parents knew, like, no, like either this is too boring, for you, you're not being challenged enough, which was the truth. Yeah. I was not being challenged enough.
I heard that before in my life.
Yeah, I was just not being, I would, because they would give me assignments and I'm just like, dude, I can do this in 5 minutes while I see everybody else struggling. And I'm like, y'all don't know this already? Even simple things like cursive. I was writing cursive since I was in like first grade. And when I came here, people were just learning to write cursive in like the third and the fourth grade. And I'm like, what? Like, what's wrong with y'all? So they knew that like it was just me either being bored or me just like effing off. So I never got it easy going through school. And they never blame another teacher for the reason why I wasn't excelling in something. So it's so different now because I do see that a lot. Like I saw there was actually a child in my daughter's class in like second grade, and they took him out of school and decided to homeschool him, which they decided, by the way, to then come back, send him back to school because homeschooling is not easy. But they took him out of school because they said that he wasn't learning enough. And their information was too dumbed down for what they thought that he could learn. But then they realized like, oh shoot, I can't even try to teach my child the way that I anticipate, him to be able to learn as well. I say all this to say that I think our school system in this current, and I'm slowing my speech because I've been drinking. So I say this to say that, I've had the full bottle of Cab. I'm done. So I say all this to say that I think that that unfortunately we think that we're more advanced, but we're really not in comparison to education. And a lot of the times
we're not.
We're blaming teachers when the reality is that you got to do some work at home too. It's just us all on the teachers. You got to do something at home as well to try to advance your student or advance your child. If your expectation is that it's just going to be all on the teachers, that's not how it works. And unfortunately, the way this economy works is that both parents have to work, both parents, and hey, you're damned if you're a single parent household. You know what I mean? Like at that point, you're entirely screwed because you have to work all the time. Like this country is in a way is very backwards because there's not enough support at home because of how the economy is because both parents have to work. We've moved and it's backwards because when you think about it, you have to work to pay bills to be able to live a reasonable lifestyle. But then at the same time, you're not able to pour into your own child that needs you to that that is supposed to be the next generation that's going to be coming up after you.
I'm waiting for the socialist message. Please deliver it.
So, like, at what point in time is it like stupid that we have this particular system working this way?
1990. When did George W. Bush take office? 2000 and some. My mom was a teacher. My mom was a teacher, right?
Yeah.
And I say was because she's done. She's done with it now. Good.
Yeah.
Thank fucking God.
Good for her.
Because I remember, like I don't. I'm a kid, right? Even when I'm a teenager, I don't give a fuck what my parents have to say.
Yeah.
Like they're just fucking people who give me food sometimes. Like that's what their job was. Right? Like provide me with food and rides to places. That's what you do. They were not people. So I don't really tune in. But
they'll become people until you're like in your teens, like late teens.
And even then they become bastard people. Like get away, you know. But I remember my mom would have me help her grade her papers, when she could.
Yeah.
She had a class of like 30 fucking kids. Which is insane to me that one adult is responsible for 30 anything. Like I'm gonna like perfectly clear right now. Do any of you think you are capable of taking care of 30 living things? I'll start with ants. Like, can you take care of 30 ants? Maybe. Okay, let's step it up a notch. Can you take care of 30 guinea pigs? Definitely fucking not. Like 30 kids is too many kids.
Nah, bro. Yo, I'm taking care of 4 on a day-by-day basis. It's hard.
30
oh, man.
And it's not like 56 fish. That's too many fish. You gotta bring those numbers down. You gotta do 12. 12 is the maximum of anything. So like it's not like it's not like
about how this conversation started off with Penguin and now who
fucking cares? We're drunk. Fuck it. This is for us. No, it's not like college. College is the reason college is so weird. I think all school is a scam. I've been clear on this. All education is a scam. I think that all of it. Every piece of it, as someone who has a master's degree, it's a scam. It is all a scam. Everything I learned, the only thing I learned from any of my schooling was people. I learned people. I learned who people are, how they interact with people. That's it. Education is a fucking scam. College is a hyper scam because they realized there aren't enough people smart enough to go into degrees that matter. So they started making up fucking fake degrees.
Mm-hmm.
And those fake degrees are all fucking garbage. And it doesn't matter because now we have a whole bunch of people with bachelor's degrees that went to college that are now in debt and need a job. So they're all working HR or fucking, help desk positions that doesn't need any particular education degree.
I went to school for marketing. Oh, what are you doing with that marketing degree? I am
having 4 kids.
HR generalist.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like
I work in payroll. Oh, nothing related to it all. Marketing degree. Okay, cool.
College is not an issue. College doesn't deal with how do I put this? When you go to college, you have to prove to the people who are teaching you that you know what's going on. in college. That's what the tests are and the classes, and like you're an adult now. Fucking learn. No one's gonna hold your fucking hand. You might find a teacher that's way there. You might find a teacher that doesn't give a shit. You're in a lecture hall with other students, and that's different. There could be 100 people in a fucking lecture hall because this person's just fucking talking. This person's telling you shit. This is the podcast. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, we are interacting to some degree, but also we're just fucking bullshitting here. You know what I'm saying? We're talking about
100%.
education.
Yeah.
So, like, okay, fine. You have a passion. That's great. But if that passion isn't a job, you definitely shouldn't go to school for it. If you want to go to school for something, go to the trade school. You're going to be fine. Go to the trade school, save 50% of all of the money you make, retire at 38. I know people who've done this. First-hand people who are just a little bit older than me, that are currently fucking retired because they worked with kids. They're not they worked construction, they worked electrical, they did electrician's work. They worked their way up for the first 5 or 6 years of there. They became a master electrician. They're retired. They own their own electrical company. They take on people. They do trade under them. Great work. They're never gonna not have money. And and if they ever need work again, they're like, hey, I can fix shit. Oh, okay, come on here. Like infinite employability. Same thing, in myself included. I've had times where I've been like sitting around for months doing interviews and stuff, and they're like, we don't know if you're a good fit. Who the fuck is if not me? Like,
yeah,
why are we like, have you seen my resume? Have you seen where I've done and where I've worked? Like, why are we talking if you didn't already know you wanted to hire me? Again, it happens everywhere. Even recently, there's a job like a block away from me. Crazy. They're like, hey, we need this position. It's the position they're hiring for is like a high 5, low 6-figure salary. Except they're offering $70K for it. And it's a 50-hour-a-week job. Your shift is 10 hours on site. 7 to 5 every day. And I'm like,
no way.
That's a job I can do. I know I can do that job. I'm not going to. You're insane. Why? That's nowhere near. Yeah, like no.
Right.
No, absolutely. And on call, but at that point it doesn't matter. I'm like, no. I kind of want to just talk to them. Be like, hey, what's up? Yeah, there's no way I'm taking this job because I'm not just qualified for this job. This exact job compared, like the fact that this is what you can afford does not mean that this is what you're going to get. You're going to get less than you want or worse than you want. Those are the only two options for that salary range, because it's just, we don't live in that world anymore where that's going to happen.
Right.
But that's all because of, we need our base education system to be more like college. And we need college to be more like our current education system. In that, when you go to school, teachers are not, teaching is not the same as instructing, nor is it the same as a training. They're all different. Teaching is, I am telling you this, and I have availability to talk to you after, during school time to make sure that you understand it. But there's a pace. If you are not learning at this, it all needs to be based on averages. Everything. Not some made up space number, but averages of the class. Because that's the class is what you're going to be in for the next X years. This is the same group of people for the most part, right? Okay. Right. Everyone in this class is having a hard time with this topic. We're going to spend a little bit more time on this topic until more people understand it. And if that happens all the time, maybe the teacher sucks. Maybe the topic needs to be fixed. Maybe there's a problem. We found the problem. But other than that, like, this is what they need to know. At the end of it, if you come back and the thing is graded and it's a failure, parents need to be able to accept the fact that their kid failed. It's hard. It's hard, but like, and is there another reason for it? Yeah, maybe the teacher sucks. Maybe, as you mentioned, it's really hard for kids to do that when they don't have a strong support. You know, like there's a million things, but same time, failure's a failure. You failed. What do? Repeat it until you get it. Hopefully the second pass is better. Like, you stay in. And the reason I brought up George W. Bush is because he did the No Child Left Behind, which prevented schools from getting money if kids weren't passing. So not the millennial, but the tail end millennial beginning of Gen Z is an entire generation of children who are now adults who were passed because they had to be, because the schools would lose federal funding if they didn't.
Yep.
How is that a good idea?
It wasn't.
The schools that do the worst should get the most money. Right? Like that, like, you don't pour money into shit that's working. Like, you fix the things that are broken. It was an entire, but I'm telling you, dude, decade for that's an entire, from George W. Bush. So yeah, it was 2000. From 2000 to 2008 plus 2 years. An entire anyone born in 2000 to 2010, that entire generation of people were passed regardless of whether they knew the content.
Yep.
And then they probably went to college because you have to go to college now. So they got into debt. And now where are these people working? Where are these 20-somethings working? Barnes & Noble?
Some of them
The
are.
Gap? Walmart? They got degrees that don't matter because colleges are accepting everybody, because they have to accept everybody, because they need to be able to spend money, and they can't spend money based on merit anymore. So now student loans made it easier for everyone to get to college, and because student loans made it easier for everyone to go to college, now colleges are like, yeah, but we're not going to accept people who like don't know how to be a scientist, a mathematician, a physicist. And that's like, you know, a writer, like, you know, anything like that. So let's make up some fucking shit. Let's be like, do you want to go to school and learn about the Merovingian dynasty? No. Ah, well, you can anyway. It's fine. We'll accept you. You can change your majors later. It's not a big deal. Nobody cares. Okay. But like, what are they going to do with the Merovingian dynasty? Oh, they're going to teach the Merovingian dynasty at another college? Fuck! We're fucked. We're fucked forever. Like,
Now they're starting to teach, by the way, content creation. They're starting to teach influencer courses now. I don't know if you realize, if you heard about that. That sounds
what
like
they need
idea.
to teach in college is how to use condoms. Because I'm telling you, maybe I can count on one hand the amount of times I use condoms in college. By the grace of God today, I have no STDs.
I mean,
man,
some simple practical things would be like real estate, stocks. But why would they do that? They would never do that because they need you to go back into the system to work that 9-to-5 job. So that wouldn't help out the economy.
I know it's crazy because I've been very clear about how like 90% of me is libertarian. But I'm not I got mine, so fuck everybody else. Hard work will get you there. I believe hard work can get you there. But I also understand that not everybody gets a fucking fair shake at it. You know what I mean? And that the general overall system is not designed for hard work to get you there anymore.
Right.
Like, it just isn't. It's unfortunate, but it's true. And
It's
the
not.
fucked up thing is, it's way more likely that a child will become moderately successful into their teenage years. If you're a girl, congratulations. At 18, you can have an OnlyFans. That's a career path for you. And if you spend 7 years on OnlyFans, 18 to 20, what, 25? 26? Yeah, 7 years, 25. If you spend 7 years on OnlyFans, you'll have enough money and enough understanding of the world because you've grown enough, providing you're not an idiot, to start making your way into the world. Like, you will. And that's if you're, for the most part, a young woman. If you're a young man, dude, just go to trades. Go to trades, or I would say be a bartender, but now's a terrible time to be a bartender. You're a young man, go into trades. Don't even bother with college.
Yeah.
Go into trades, work 10 years, become a master of whatever the trade is. We're running, there's an old South Park episode of like them trying to find people to fix their fucking like random shit around the house because nobody knows how to do shit anymore. So they're like, the handyman is now a billionaire because he's the only guy who knows how to fucking. So like everyone's competing, like, I'll give you $50 if you come and fix my stove. Yeah, but I'll give you $200. And then so like the people on the side outside of Home Depot, instead of being like manual laborers or like masons or carpenters, are holding signs like free geology, like legal advice for free, taxes done for free, you know, like trying to help people. Like, it's like, yeah, it's true. Nobody wants to get into trades anymore, but like content creation, absolutely.
Yeah.
Dude, like even a middling YouTube channel is still going to pull in what? How much? 1,000 a month?
Depending on what niche you're in.
You can get 1,000 a month, I think.
Okay.
I think it's like maybe not immediately, but I think
it takes time. Yeah, okay, that's fair.
But I think like you're young, you get a job, you work 7-Eleven, you know, like, and then you also run a YouTube channel, and I think like.
Yeah, you do some you throw some reaction videos up. You do 3 videos a day.
I mean,
you
dude,
could
TikTok,
get somewhere.
Like, some people aren't doing
Yeah.
shit about like some of. Dude, I heard a song today. This is a good way to end this, by the way, because I think we're getting fucking done.
Oh, we're done.
I heard a song,
we are.
and I know it's been around for a while because I saw when it was released. It was just a TikTok video, and the guy said, "We're guys, of course we," and then cuts into a song, and it's like,
yeah.
Keep a little dirt under my pillow for the dirt man. And I'm like, what the fuck? And then I watched the entire fucking video. I watched the full minute video of him singing this song, and I was like,
you just gave him money.
21.9 million views on TikTok.
Yep.
11 million views on YouTube Shorts.
Yep.
I'm like, that video's, he's fine. You know what you know how happy I'd be if I got hit. Oh, we stopped talking about Penguin a long time ago. Penguin's over. Penguin's great. Watch Penguin.
Penguin's fantastic.
See, that's what happens when you watch Penguin. You start becoming conscious of society. When you watch Agatha, you start wondering about how could they build magic, bitch? There's magic. You watch Penguin, you're like, how could a city have fallen into such disarray? It's like, well, cry.
Oh boy.
We have sufficiently drank enough.
Yeah, we I was trying to use the calculator and I couldn't figure out how to do it. All right.
You're not going to walk around with a calculator in your pants.
Yeah.
Oh, man. The problem is, we are. And everybody knows that now, so nobody knows how to do fucking math.
I live in Detroit. I know how a city could fall. Oh my gosh. That sounds terrible.
Yeah, but Detroit's story is all about corruption, just like everything else is.
But I also understand.
Remember
that reference.
I live near Newark, New Jersey, a city that was given $1.5 billion to fix their infrastructure and spent $780 million on meeting and project managers to discuss how they were going to fix their infrastructure. True fucking story. Corruption is everywhere at all times. Always. And the only way to do it is to break out the guillotines. Anyway,
the guillotine.
Thanks, everybody.
Right.
There's my socialist message. I don't like socialism, but I could use a little bit of it for a while, and then we can go right back.
This is a great episode about nothing. Agatha was good. We had a good Agatha thought. Watch Penguin. Hopefully Agatha is better next week. And that's it. That's all I got.
Watch Penguin. It's so good.
Yeah.
We'll not talk about it more next week. Next week we'll discuss the plight of migrant workers.
Or whatever else comes to our minds. All right, guys. Bye.